profits. Let's talk about money today. How much money can you make in the pool business, right? Specifically, servicing pools, having a pool service based business. How much money can you make? What does this actually look like? You don't get a lot of content out there discussing the dollars and cents about it. And what are some of the metrics that are good to track in this type of field? What's the market size, right? And so in this episode, we're going to be going over some of these specific metrics and really, we just want to know what does it look like and is it appealing enough for you to go into the pool service based business? Okay. So, size of the business. As I said previously, almost 11 million residential swimming pools in the United States, guys. It's a ton of market out there. They're geographically located kind of in the south and the northeast throughout the United States. Lots of pools. Content will be posted in the channel here for specifics to which state has how many pools. We do break it down by state, and all that really valuable information is available on our Pool Millionaire education platform. And links will be down below. Go ahead, check it out. And if you're on the content platform right now, keep reading because this is all in here and you're going to need to know all this. Now, how many pools are there? So almost 11 million swimming pools. What does that mean? This is a route-based business and pool density matters. And how much money you can make in this business is going to be determined by how many pools you can service every day. And that is determined by how close they are together, how well you've gotten them in line. Like, are there metrics? Is the pool in great shape? Uh, is the customer in always getting in time with you in a timely manner, getting in touch with you in terms of like, oh, did I put the dog away? Did I do this? Did I do that? So is the customer on point? Are the pools on point? How close are they together? What do they look like size and scale wise? All of these things are going to matter when you're talking about how many pools can you do in a day, right? And how many pools can your team do in a day? So all of these little things are going to come together when we're talking about the pool route. And just like I said previously, the swimming pool service business is a route-based business. So you're going from home to home, right, on the route to figure this out and to close those deals and, or excuse me, to service those pools and close up the day. So within this route-based business, the main factors are time, degree of difficulty. Some pools are a little bit worse than others, right? So if they have tons of trees on top of them, they're going to have tons of debris in there. Sometimes the equipment's not working well. So these are all things that are going to factor into how much capacity you can fill. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's kind of give you some ideas here. So a pool, let's say you're doing 75 pools per week, right? And you were doing them at $100 per month. That's $7,500 per month. If you were doing them at $200 per month, that's $15,000 per month gross sales, right? So if you had a route, it was just you had 75 pools, Monday through Friday, 15 a day, right? 5 times 15, 75 pools, $200 a pool, that's a $14,000 gross sales. Now add on top of that any repairs you can do, add on top of that all the filter cleanings you can do, and you all of a sudden have a business that can generate well into the early six figures in revenue, right? Because 15,000 times 12 is $180,000 a year. Now you add on top of that your revenue for repairs, which gives you a split profit, right? So there's two different elements in repairs, right? So it's your labor cost and what you make on the parts. So you give your customer a good deal, you get the part wholesale, everybody wins, everybody's happy. So all these things as a solo operator can add together and create a very good over six-figure owner operator business for you. Now, let's break that down a little bit further. Being that it's a service-based business, most guys who are in the business solo, right? It's you, your truck, your tools, your insurance, your gas, and your equipment. That's most of it. Now, the only other X factor is marketing and how much you want to spend on marketing. Now, on the way up to that, full capacity, you're going to spend some money on marketing. But when you get to that capacity, hey, maybe you just want to be a solo owner operator. Maybe you just want to be you on the route. That's it. So that's a factor, right? Some people get to that level, have a comfortable work environment. They're out. It's fun. You're out in the sun. You have like shade, good days, bad days, but you're getting fresh air. You're getting seeing these beautiful pools. It's a job well done. There's all that satisfaction. So it's an interesting environment, right? It gets you out of the desk. You don't work weekends. You don't work after 5 typically, unless it's an emergency and you got to go to your last couple pools or after that. But usually, most pool guys are at their first pool between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning and done by 3 to 5 p.m. Now, if you're really pushing it, you're really trying to squeeze in some extra pools, maybe you're working till 5:36 and you're putting out 80, 90 pools a week and you're doing repairs and service filter cleans on the maybe on Saturdays and you're really pushing the overtime. Well, you're going to make a good money. You're going to make good annual income. And guess what? It's your own business. You're going to have write-offs, deductions, so on and so forth, all of the things that come with having your own business, right? So if you set up your own LLC or whatever the case may be, everything's kind of up to you and your state and whatever makes the most sense. But when you have your own business, these are some of the things to think about. So this is how the numbers start coming together. Now, why is that important? Well, it's consistent. You don't have to look for your next customer every month, right? So most vast majority of your customers from one month are going to roll over to the next. Those people are going to expect you there. Okay. There is a little bit of seasonality between, let's say, November and January. You may have a few people drop off. That's common. One of the things we do to kind of mitigate some of that is we try to put people on a biweekly price point for the winter. And so let's say they were paying $150 per month, um, monthly in the regular season, and in the winter they call you up and say, "Hey Ed, I'm gonna drop off. It's the winter. I'm not interested in pool service." Well, it's up to you to kind of explain, Mr. Customer, that's okay. Totally get it. But the leaves are still falling, the debris is still going, and a lot of times in the winter the pH is off a lot. And so the chemicals do need to continue to be balanced. It just you're not going to see algae. So customers don't see the algae. They're like, oh, I'm fine. But you're not really. You still need to maintain that pool. So what we tell them is, listen, how about instead of that, we mitigate any potential risk of damaging equipment because of clogged lines and drains, and we keep servicing the pool, but we move to a biweekly model. And instead of 150, we drop it down to, let's say, 99 bucks, Mr. Customer, for those 3 months. And then we'll pick up where we left off once it starts warming up again. How does that sound? And you'd be surprised. Most people are okay with that. If you were going to lose 5 customers to the winter, maybe you only lose 2. And really, that works. That works well as long as people understand that the maintenance still needs to happen. And good operators can express that and kind of, help people understand that. And the interesting thing about the biweekly service is you're getting less total dollar amount, but each visit goes up. So if it was $160 per month and it was 4 visits, that's $40 a visit. If it's $99 twice, that's $50 a visit or 49.50. So your each individual visit goes up when you do that. So it's a little bit interesting tactic, but that's how you can kind of maintain those. So you roll over everybody, and these dollars grow over time. And what that essentially means is over time you can compound in a sense. So if the next summer comes around and you're getting tons of leads through our systems, through our marketing, then you can hire on your first or second guy, depending on what you want to do. We would recommend bringing on a second 2 people. You have somebody that's near full and somebody that's about a part-time, and that part-time person can pick up all of the extra you get and then, build up to 2 full-time techs, crush it that summer, build up to your third by the end of the year, fourth, all of a sudden you're doing 200, 300 pools per week. So the dollars add up. The dollars add up very quickly, and those are some of the things to consider. Um, other items you want to consider is your average monthly ticket, right? So your average monthly charge per customer. You want to keep that as high as possible. A lot of companies balance this out with filter cleanings. So the kind of the one of the ways you can balance that out is if you don't want to go too high on your monthly amount, you can try and add one extra filter cleaning per year, which most pools need, and that kind of bumps that a little bit. So if your filter cleaning is typically, let's say, $150 per filter clean, whereas your monthly service is 150. So if you were to drop that one extra 150 in there, divide that by 12, you have over $10, or $12.50, or whatever the case may be, if you were to distribute that. So you just gave yourself a monthly bump of 10 to 12 bucks by doing that one extra filter clean per year. So you want to keep an eye on your average monthly ticket. You know, that's going to impact everything. So that's going to impact your monthly revenue that's expected coming in, right? So your quote unquote almost guaranteed revenue, your rollover revenue, is going to be dramatically impacted by that, and that's going to affect your bottom line in terms of what your profit percentage is, how much you're going to be able to pay your guys, you're going to have insurance, what kind of vehicles. So the that monthly average ticket will impact that. The big bonuses you can earn in the business are the filter cleans. If you can also do repairs, um, if you can get a repair technician who's in some states you may have a license or so on and so forth. But if you get a good repair guy or do the repairs yourself, which is in the near term, great. In the long term, if you're growing, you're not going to be able to. You're not going to have time. So, great repair guy, very valuable. So you have your service layer, you're making money on your service. You add your repair guy, he can do all the repairs, maybe even some of the filter cleans. And now all of a sudden you're stacked up. You're starting to stack up your skill sets, your talent, your team, and things are starting to move. So these are some of the things to pay attention to. So it's your route density, how many pools your capacity is, your average monthly ticket, how can you get that to grow, customer churn rate, we basically did touch on a little bit. You get a little bit of that in the winter. You get sometimes people are just unhappy. You never know. I mean, you can't please everybody. So occasionally you have someone who comes on and drops off the very next month. That happens. Some people have different expectations or didn't understand what they were paying for, what they're getting. Churn happens in a subscription type model like this, reoccurring type model like this. You have customer churn occasionally. Um, one of the best things to mitigate customer churn is lay out the value proposition early in the conversation. Let them know what they're getting. Let them know what to expect. If you're going to be off 2 weeks in the winter, tell them in the beginning. So set the expectations up properly, and most people are okay. Most people are okay. If you can set the expectations properly of Mr. Customer, we're responsible for this, this, and this. We will additionally try to help with this and this. And when problems come up, you can refer back to your service agreement in the beginning, right? You can say, hey, kind of remember we talked about this. This is kind of one of the things we do. This is how we mitigate these things. But again, it's your responsibility as the homeowner to kind of eh, pay for the repair or whatever the case may be, whatever the issue was. So by mitigating some of these things, you can reduce customer churn. These are some of the little tips. Good customer service, be nice on the phone, smile whenever you can, um, answer the phone, right? A lot of clients have problems with that. A lot of owner operators just too busy, and it's not that you don't want to answer the phone. You're missing calls. If you're doing a repair or you're elbow deep in a pool, you miss a call. Well, maybe that was a complaint call or an emergency call, and they're not happy you didn't answer. So, if you can mitigate some of these things, you can reduce customer churn. Sales velocity. Now, this is where that recurring nature comes into play, right? And building that, stacking those routes up Once you have, you know, four, five, six guys, all of a sudden, any changes you make or any things that come online and you have a big base, price increases, for example, can add to your bottom line very quickly when you have a lot of velocity, when you have a lot of clients. So you have 500 clients and you take the price up, you know, $10 a month, and all of a sudden you're making an extra $5,000 a month. And so things can escalate quickly in the business if they're done right, you know, and that again has to be expectations have to be set properly in the beginning. You have to kind of navigate those expectations, those understandings early on, and people are okay with it. They understand. So just some things to consider. Customer lifetime value. So this is one of the things that really makes this business interesting. Customer lifetime value is calculated in our business essentially by how long your average customer stays with you. So let's take this Arizona example. If we have our average clients paying, let's say, $150 a month, which is fairly typical in most of the cities here, and let's say your average guy stays with you 10 months. Some are going to stay with you years, some drop off in a month because they didn't know what they were buying, or whatever the case may be. Now, if you can calculate that simply throughout the months and the years, and you'll come to understand your long-term churn rate essentially, and how many people stay with you. So let's say you lose about, you know, 5%, and that comes out to being, uh, you know, 10 months the average person stays with you, just to keep the math simple. So let's take this 150, multiply it by 10, you have $1,500, right? So this customer is worth $1,500 to you. That's before any repairs are done, any filter cleans are done, you've sold them anything additional. So there's extra that will be added onto that lifetime value, and you can kind of average that out. But let's just take the simple math and say 10 months, $150, that's $1,500. That's your customer lifetime value. Um, the interesting thing about this is when you're comparing how much you're spending in ads to how much this lifetime value is for you. Now, this is where this becomes a wealth building business. So if you can get a customer, let's say your average customer cost you, customer acquisition cost was 200 bucks, right? So through our Google ads or our Facebook ads, and it ends up averaging out to $200 across your various marketing endeavors. Now, you spend 200 and you know through your calculation that this person is worth $1,500 to you throughout the year in gross sales. So that's, you know, more than a 7x on your $200. Great return on ad spend, ROAS, ROAS, return on ad spend. Fantastic return on ad spend. And that's, remember, not even talking about any filter cleans you're going to do on top, any repairs you get from them, any referrals they send you. So there's other avenues for additional revenue from each individual customer. So um, we want to keep on point. We want to stay on top of that customer acquisition cost, and we want to understand how that relates to your lifetime value, right? So if you had some terrible marketing, now let's look at the inverse. If you had some terrible marketing and it was costing you $1,000 to get a customer, and they were only sticking around with you for 7 or 8 months, and it was $1,000 of revenue for $1,000 of customer acquisition cost. Well, that doesn't make sense anymore, right? And believe it or not, if you don't know what you're doing, you can waste tons of money on ads, tons. So you don't want to go down that route. You want to have a professional team like ours. We'll set up the Google ads, we set up the Facebook ads, we set up whatever the platform is that you want, we can create, and we can get you dialed in. And depending on what service you want to get with, we can get non-digital as well. So if you want to make flyers, we can kind of help you, guide you through some things like that. But usually your best bang for buck is Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and we can help navigate those waters really well. We have great systems in place for all of those. Like we mentioned before, with our systems, some of the things that we talked about just now, we can help you mitigate. So our systems can text customers back. If you miss a call, we can have, emails coming, drip email campaigns, and we can have various things set up for you. So we can set things up that help keep people in the loop until you're able to close that deal and service that customer, right? And those are some of the magic sauce of what we do. We're going to run great ads for you. We're going to run great systems for you. We're going to get those customers in the door, and all you have to do is answer the phone at the end, at some point, and service the customer. Give them great value. Be there with a smile. Be there on time. Be there early if you can. These are a lot of the cool guys, a lot of the competition doesn't do that. A lot of the industry have guys who drop the ball, companies who drop the ball, and they're not answering the phone frequently. They're not showing up on time. They're over promising, under delivering. And we can help you flip that script. And that's really important when it comes to providing excellent service. So these are some of the numbers. This is how some of this breaks down. Um, Capacity is everything. Keep your average monthly ticket high. The dollars will grow over time. Keep your churn rate low as you can by implementing your best business practices. These are all going to help run a super efficient business that's very profitable. We do have great service agreements we can kind of guide you with, so you can see how we've done it in the past and you can do similar things. So these are some of the interesting ways we can help. We're not just digital marketing, but we're through Pool Millionaire, through Pool Profits. We're a community, we are a team, and we can really help you build a wonderful swimming pool business. And I know you can do it. We've done it, the same systems, the same processes, and it's doable. You can do it. Thank you for looking at the course. Thank you for understanding your numbers. There's a lot of metrics in this course. Take your time, look at them. Some of the most important ones we discussed already, but churn, average monthly ticket, lifetime value, just understanding these basics. You don't have to be a mathematician. Just understand your numbers as an overall, keep your costs in check, look for the best deals, etc. If you can do all of that, you're going to be fine. You're going to have a great business. And together, we're going to grow this thing. Really appreciate you. See you next time. My name is Edmund, Pool Profits, Pool Millionaire. Let's keep it going. Thank you.